Through tonight, as there's another chance for some more heavy rain and storms impacting the state. We're on your side, what's currently on radar and what you can expect for your Wednesday.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
But first, rain, and more rain, and that's led to images like this flooding across the Birmingham area today. These videos taken from the 5 Points area and across Valley Avenue. And we have certainly been tracking some heavy downpours. And as meteorologist Matt Daniels been saying throughout the weekend, I know yesterday you were talking about it. Now, we're sort of shifting into, last night you were in for me and talking about the flooding risk is going to be an issue.
That was the big concern yesterday. All the malls were showing lots of rain and storms, and so here we go again. And it happened this morning and this afternoon.
If you have around your house a little drainage area, I have one of those French drains, and I have a little cover, and it gets covered with leaves sometimes. And when it does, I have big problems. So you need to make sure all your drainage, you're talking 27,000 gallons of water per 1 inch of rain on 1 acre. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's impressive.
And you've had over 12 inches, and Matt's going to be talking a lot more about that foot of rain total across our area, how that stands record-wise. Right now, we want to go into what's next because more rain possible tonight. And one area, we had a lot of severe weather last week. We've been tracking severe storms. We had that tornado warning last week over Calhoun County and those areas that have been impacted by heavier rain. That's where we had some big problems today. Piedmont, for example, Elaine sharing this image of some of that flooding that happened there. We had a flash flood warning that was in place for southern Cherokee County. That has expired, but you can see storm totals there, over 4 inches of rain with these latest few waves that have moved through, and there's still some more rain to come. Not as extreme on the northern end of this. I'm watching to the south. This is that next round that we were telling you about. There's a severe thunderstorm watch to the south, but this is just mostly just some pockets of showers, and there's a heavier downpour not far from Carbon Hill that might develop into a storm, so just stay alert in case there is some lightning that tries to develop there. It's still warm, it's unstable, and the models are telling us all this rain you see lifting in towards Demopolis, impacting Choctaw County, some of these heavier downpours. It's not far from Tuscaloosa, and that could build in over the next couple of hours. So we did include another round and for possible storms and heavier rain for this evening. Now through 8 o'clock into West Alabama, we could see some start times there. 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock central areas, especially south of Birmingham for heavier rain, and then East Alabama, we need to watch it later tonight for any leftover showers and storms reaching that part of the state. So again, First Alert Weather Day. Our main concern tonight, localized flooding. We do have a flood watch that is in effect. Still could see some severe storms to the south at risk for strong winds. Large hail will continue, but you can see the Weather Service also has a flood watch along and south of Interstate 5920, and that will be in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning. But as we continue assessing the damage across central Alabama from this week's storms, check out these images shared by Anna Price Adams out of Carrollton from Sunday's severe weather. You can see trees down across that area. We've seen a lot of images like this. You just factor in all this rain that we've had, and that's one of the reasons why, Matt, we've been seeing a lot of these down trees. But I know you've been calculating a lot of these rain totals. It's impressive to see that Tuscaloosa's had over 13 inches of rain. But tell us a little bit about how this all stands record-wise.
Well, I've been doing the numbers all month long because, as you know, it's started wet and it's going to end wet, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
So let's go ahead and get right to it. In fact, we got our weather watchers. They're reporting their totals. I asked them for their monthly totals, and it's very impressive. Out of Trussville, Tyler Young, almost 13.5 inches of rain has fallen this month. Just incredible, over a foot. Over a foot there, Northport from Bud Bean. Out of Birmingham, Joey Amberson reporting nearly 12 inches of rain. And then we've got out of Jemison, Lynn Hall, over 10 inches. And Rick Freeman and Piedmont, over 9. And then in Columbiana, Travis reporting a little over 6 inches of rainfall. So let's do some stat crunching, shall we? Tuscaloosa, you've picked up almost 14 inches of rain, and on average you'll pick up about 3.5. You do the math. That's a lot of rain, and you are number one. It is the wettest May on record. You just destroyed your old record back in 1976 of a little over 11 inches of rainfall. So very impressive there. And here's a new thing that just came in with Birmingham. We've picked up now over 10 inches of rain, nearly doubling the amount of rain we would see in the month of May. And if you look at where we were ranked, it is now considered the fourth wettest May on record for the city of Birmingham, and that number could still continue to climb. Finally, for Anniston, you've recorded over almost 9.5 inches of rain. Once again, almost doubling the amount you typically see in the month of May. And right now, that puts you at number 2 for the second wettest May on record for Anniston. Your record, by the way, is back in 2003. You got to break 11.5, and honestly, it's a possibility over the next several days. Well, this all comes as hours of soaking rain brought flooding issues, which is keeping first responders on standby. Your West Alabama reporter Brian Henry is on your side with the impact this type of weather has on response times.
North Star paramedic Grant Madison is an 8-year veteran in the emergency medical field.
Absolutely. Weather's a huge consideration of what I think of.
It is the very first thing Madison thinks about before climbing in a 9,500-pound ambulance after getting that 911 call. Today was no exception in Tuscaloosa County. It poured for much of the morning, another added responsibility for Madison.
There's a greater stopping distance, so when you're stopping, you're on high alert all the time. So I think that's just the human nature side of things.
Grant Madison's not alone.
Excessive rain.
Alex Miles is with the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Department. He's in the same boat when it comes to rainy weather safety. Consider this, both the Sheriff's Department and North Star cover all of Tuscaloosa County, all 1,300 plus square miles, or put it another way, similar in size to the state of Rhode Island.
And torrential rain causes a lot of hydroplaning issues.
When the weather is like this, first responders like Madison and Miles also have to tap in another layer of knowledge and training, find an alternative route that's least likely to be flooded.
Not always take the GPS route, but there might be a quicker route that's not flooded.
And that can make all the difference when getting there in time is critical.
If you become involved in a traffic accident or hydroplane, not only are you endangering yourself, but those around you, and you're exasperating the situation.
The rules of the road for first responders: get there first, but first, get there safely. Records with the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Department showed the department averages fewer than 2 weather-related accidents per year. For North Star, about 3. Your reporter in Tuscaloosa County, Brian Henry, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
All right, and check out some more of those storm photos shared by you all across the First Alert weather app. Catherine Barber showing this scary clouds, a shelf cloud lightning in Vincent. We've got Josh Burnham right there with lightning over Raglan. Always great pictures there. And Sarah with this shelf cloud in Vincent. I mean, that looks like a UFO coming towards you, doesn't it? And then we've got Travis Braden with another shelf cloud over Columbiana. And when you see those clouds, by the way, that means a lot of wind and followed by some rain. Scan this code on your screen right now to download the First Alert weather app. You'll be able to share your photos of storms in your area and get those forecast updates for your exact location. And in 30 seconds, we continue to talk about what you can expect for the rest of your week and take you on a day of remembrance on the 52nd anniversary of the Brent tornado. We'll be right back.
Well, let's check in on the beach forecast. And we did have some storms today that moved through Gulf shores down along the Alabama Gulf Coast. Right now, you can see some sun breaking through, and there will be another chance for scattered storms. Right now, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Mobile and Baldwin counties. This actually extends as far north as Hale and Greene counties here in West Alabama. Watching this area of storms, it certainly looks like the heaviest of this may continue to track across our southern counties. But if you are traveling down to the coast, rain chances going way up there Thursday and Friday with scattered storms. But like our area, rain chances will back off this weekend with high temperatures in the low 80s, and into early next week it looks like low to mid 80s with a 20% chance for afternoon storms. Looks like beach weather right towards the beginning of next week. Now Sunday coming up, an important day, June the 1st. That marks the start of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, and you can see the first name on the list, Andrea. We'll be watching to see if a system develops at the moment as we look out across the Atlantic basin. It is interesting. We're seeing a lot of that Saharan dust. Look at all this. It could move out across the Caribbean. That's always a good thing with respect to limiting tropical development, but we'll certainly keep you posted. Right now, though, what I want to do is I want to take you to Centerville, Alabama. That's a live look at Centerville. It's been 52 years since a devastating F4 tornado nearly wiped out the town of Brent, Alabama. It happened on May 27, 1973, a day forever etched into local history. Meteorologists at the time said it was the most significant tornado outbreak since 1932. The tornado first touched down in Demopolis, and it carved a path of destruction through Greensboro, Brent, Centerville, Montevallo, Columbiana, Wilsonville, Childersburg, and several communities in between. It finally lifted near Mount Cheaha. By the time it was over, the storm had left a 140-mile damage path with estimated peak winds reaching 250 miles per hour. In its wake, there were 199 injuries and 7 lives lost. The National Weather Service radar site in Pondville, known then as the Centerville Brent radar site, it took a direct hit. The radome protecting the antenna was destroyed, and the antenna itself was found 20 feet from the building. Meteorologists at the site managed to get one final call through to the Birmingham office, simply saying, "We've been hit." The Brent Baptist Church also took a direct hit, and many were inside. It was a Sunday evening, and the tornado happened just minutes before worship service. There were other tornadoes on that day. Another violent tornado tore across Coleman County, tracking northeast toward Lake Gunnersville. And another touchdown just outside of Birmingham, moving nearly 40 miles into Etowah County. That tornado alone caused 76 injuries and claimed 1 life in Center Point. We hear so much about the 32 outbreak, the one in the late 70s, but that was a significant day. But, you know, we're past the peak of the spring severe weather season, but this anniversary in particular is just a reminder that the late spring and this time of year can certainly deliver powerful and significant tornado threats when the conditions are right.
And as we continue talking about the impacts left from today's heavy rain, neighbors in part of the Jones Valley area are beginning to dry out. Your reporter, Taylor Pollock, joins us now after talking to neighbors who have been watching the weather closely.
Right, we're on Hemlock Avenue in the Jones Valley neighborhood, and neighbors here tell me that they've been dealing with these flooding issues for years. For example, if you look just behind me, you can see some of that water still standing on the roadway after all those heavy rains. Neighbors are blaming it all on bad drainage. This is what the scene looked like hours ago when it first began to rain here. And here's video one neighbor shared with us of the same neighborhood last week. You can see the street is partially flooded and children's toys floating away. The drains, these neighbors say, become easily clogged and cause considerable flooding in the area. They say they want stronger infrastructure. One neighbor I spoke with says she and her neighbors are constantly having to call the city to come and clean the drainage each time it rains.
The city really need to come out and do their job. Get from behind the desk and come out here and see what we see. And then maybe we can get some money out here. But right now, it's just awful. It's a swimming pool in the front and a swimming pool in the back.
Now, I reached out to the city of Birmingham about the flooding issues, and they tell me that crews have been out in the area today addressing the issue. We will continue to bring you updates as we learn more. Your reporter in Birmingham, Taylor Pollock, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
Well, don't go anywhere. We continue to talk about that chance for storms this evening as we head into the evening hours. That First Alert Weather Day continues, and we share more of your photos. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back into Weather Extra. Checking out some of the views. There's the view from Young Jewelers, Sanders Aviation. I'm watching to the north here some of these areas of rain developing right around Smith Lake. Our weather watcher, by the way, in Lamar County, we're seeing some light returns on radar. Said a lot of that rain's not reaching the ground, but this is reaching the ground here around Rose Hill and Thatch. This is north of Jasper, tracking in towards Black Pine and around Arley. Notice one lightning strike, so there is a rumble in here. Make sure you're indoors. You start hearing those rumbles of thunder, another developing storm, but you can see that there's still an environment where we're getting these pop-up downpours. So that's why we're continuing the first alert weather day. It wouldn't take much rain to cause some issues with respect to flooding. I think the big problem spots this evening based on the radar trends here to the south, and models are suggesting this could develop across the southern part of our area. That seems to be the more active track here today. I know the coverage was more widespread early on, but looks like this evening we'll see that track to the south, and then tomorrow even further south. So we do expect during the day some nice breaks tomorrow, but you can see the Weather Service, they have issued a severe thunderstorm watch. It does include Dallas, Wilcox County down to Conecuh. You can see Perry, Hale, Greene, Sumter, Choctaw, Washington, Clark, Marengo counties. So Sweetwater over towards Nanophilia and back in towards Demopolis and points north towards Forkland and Utah. Greater chance for storms there to the far south and west. Next 24 hours, though, all that heavy rain and storm activity building in towards Shelby County, a possibility later on this evening. So again, we're not totally over the rain just yet for tonight. So let's stay weather alert for that possibility as some of these models show, and then you can see moving into perhaps East Alabama as well as late as midnight if it doesn't fall apart or stay to the south. There's no guarantee everybody's going to see heavy rain tonight, but with the model suggesting that possibility, we just need to make sure you have that first alert. There is a flood watch through 1 o'clock in the morning, but tomorrow, again, we do have some nice improvements on the way. There's still a chance of rain. It's not 0%. You'll want to grab the umbrella with the out-the-door checklist tomorrow, but the chance is there for just mainly spotty coverage tomorrow. Now, the storms could come back late tomorrow night. That break's not going to last long. We still have this front that's stalled out over the region, and you can see that next wave starts to build back in. This is showing Thursday morning around 3 a.m., but plan for that possibility of another widespread coverage of showers and storms Thursday and Friday, and then finally we see a strong enough push of drier air moving in for this weekend. And Saturday, as Matt was talking about earlier, we keep it dry, 80 degrees. Most of Sunday looks dry as hurricane season kicks off, maybe a few showers late in the day, but it's always amazing to me how when the calendar flips, the weather pattern changes sometimes. You get the Monday, Tuesday, and next week, Matt, right now looks like early June, or at least that first Monday, Tuesday of June, dry.
Yeah, and you know, starting out the month with below average temperatures.
Yeah.
Low 80s? June?
Look,
okay.
I'm not saying anything. Let's stay 80s right now.
Okay, we'll get there eventually. But speaking of beyond the 7-day, you would imagine as we get into June, it's going to start getting pretty hot probably. So let's go ahead and talk about the temperature outlook. This is for June 4th through June 10th. So right now it's like the eastern half of the country, they're forecasting, the Weather Prediction Center, Climate Prediction Center is forecasting maybe a 40% chance of seeing above average temperatures here in Alabama. So what does that mean? Well, what is above average? Well, as you can see, for June 5th to June 10th, our average high for this time of year is about 86 to 87 degrees. So if we're going to looking at above average, maybe some upper 80s to maybe close to 90, that can't be ruled out. So something we'll be watching. And when it comes to rainfall potential, it looks like parts of the central United States, Great Lakes, maybe even going down in parts of the southeast, we might have a slightly above chance of seeing some rainfall, near average along the Gulf Coast. So just looking ahead for those rain chances way beyond. We're talking about Tuesday, June 3rd, and notice we'll just keep clicking through, and you can see just a mixture of some sunshine and clouds, has rain mainly to our west. And looking beyond that, this is looking at the following weekend. This is June 7th, still looking pretty dry for the weekend. So hey, maybe we'll break this pattern. And of course, this June we'll watch the tropics as well, but none of the models are showing anything. If they are, it's kind of garbage, because 2 weeks out, a lot can change, and the global models love to spit out those kind of things. So just ignore it if you see that on social media. We're going to be right back right after this quick break. Stay with us.
All right, a lot of shelf cloud photos as all the storms have moved in. Aaron McGee sharing this view. Almost looks like the mothership there over Vance.
It does, and I love this one. I forgot what that looked like. Kaylee Doucette, a sunset over Lake Mitchell.
Thank you, Kaylee, for that reminder. We do
Yes.
have a son, and Ryan Carty sharing this time lapse of a supercell in Texas as he continues. Look at the circulation. That's that when you hear us say mesoscale circulation, Matt. Textbook.
Spinning like a top right there. Don Barnett with the sunset over the Tennessee River.
And Alicia Denoff sharing this lovely view of some fair weather clouds over Lenox, Alabama.
And finally, Jake sent this photo in right here with the pink skies in Hamilton. Gotta love it when you get those sunrise, sunset photos, and always feel free to submit those photos. You'll see it right here on Weather Extra.
Yeah, we'll take the cotton candy skies over the gray skies, right?
100%. And I love the sunrise and the sunset. It's a great reminder, yeah.
Well, the good news is we will, right now, at least the forecast away, it's trending. It still looks like we'll catch some breaks coming up later this week. Watching Thursday and Friday for higher rain chances, but this evening we do continue that first alert weather day. Some storms possible in areas to the south especially.
Yeah, right now it looks like most of it's behaving at this point.
Right.
So I know there's some flash flood warnings up in North Alabama that the Huntsville office has issued north of our area. So that's going to be the main threat, I would say, right? Just some heavy rain, possible flooding, and then we'll just have to wait and see what happens as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning.
Yeah, a little bit of a different animal compared to what we had, I know, a couple weekends ago with some of those complexes of storms that moved in. It seems like with the last few waves, we have seen a few severe storms, but we're getting some of the rain, and it kind of helps to limit that instability a little bit.
And we love sunshine, but in this kind of setup, that can heat things up and create that storm fuel to generate those storms. So I guess in a way, today's rain was kind of a good thing for us, right?
Yeah, a good thing for us, but again, tonight, just stay alert in case there are a couple of flood warnings that do pop up in parts of the area. We still have one more wave of storms tonight. Then tomorrow, we've got the rain chances finally backing off, but we'll talk more about Thursday and Friday. We'll have the full forecast. Again, updates and radar updates starting at 9 o'clock on First at 9.
All right. Have a great Tuesday night, everybody.